say the flame to shout, make America great, tell them what it's about. Facts over feelings, cutting through the noise, fighting woke mobs and the kids with toys. They spew their lies, they spreading hate. Let's BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truth to ammo in this battleground joint. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night.
Hey, it's To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
Hey,
What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys? It's your boy Leo. And
episode
this is
117, right?
Wednesday, May 14th, right?
Welcome. Thanks for coming in on Wednesday nights. Now that we are doing Wednesday nights instead of Tuesday nights.
Everybody thinks we're in separate places, but just,
We are.
Oh man, I can't, you're way over there. All right,
We
are.
just
we
play the
just
trick.
have three different cameras,
Yeah.
just messing with your minds.
Don't break the fourth wall, Vince.
Anyway, thanks again for coming back on Wednesday nights instead of Tuesday nights. We just had to do a little switch around, but we're still here. We haven't gone anywhere. We won't be going anywhere. We won't be leaving anytime soon. Hopefully, once all this is, well, you know what? It'll never be complete because there'll always be news.
There's always
Well, we're
shit to talk
upgrading our
So, like, what's
studios. Yeah, we're upgrading our
for
studios
sure.
for To The Point, not where we're at, but what you see on screen and across the whole network and Indian River Connection. So if you're following, if you're crossing over, that's great. Make sure you hit the like and the follow button. We're streaming live Wednesdays, like Leo said, at 8 p.m. on the Patriot Prayer Network. And we're on IndianRiverConnections.com and all those platforms also. So make sure you give us a like and a follow. It's really important for X and Rumble. So it's alternative media. It doesn't cost you anything. Both apps are free. If you got them, go get it. Don't go follow us. If you don't, go get it.
And drop a comment. It helps the algorithm too. So
Yeah.
got something to say? You don't
Say
like
it.
what we got to say? Call us a bunch
Yeah.
of pricks. You know,
Okay.
go right ahead.
Give a shit.
I like to be called
Yeah.
names.
Well, like when you start interfering, though, like I'm all for that free speech,
Oh, yeah,
like
for
how I
sure.
am with our platforms. But when you start affecting somebody's business, I kind of
Right. Yeah.
I make it go away. I hear a loud humming, but it's not in our ears. So, anyways,
It's the aliens that are taking over.
we have some headlines we're going to talk about. I mean, obviously, the emperor has arrived in the Middle East, and we can get into that. I'd love to provoke some comments from that remark. Trump made a big announcement about Big Pharma this week. We can talk about that. He's traveling across the Middle East, making trade
Saudi
deals,
Arabia.
and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Pretty crazy how they, he arrived and all the things that they did for him and stuff like that. It's crazy.
They
and
treat
that
him like royalty.
And that airplane too. Did you hear about that airplane they gifted the government? Not him. They didn't gift it to him. They gifted it to the government.
Well, the way it was explained to me is it was gifted to him, but he in turn gives it to the Department of Defense,
Right.
and then they do their thing with it.
Right. He
So-
was like, I'm not gonna keep it. Like, it's gonna stay
Right.
here forever. Like, it's
Right.
not mine. It's for the government. It's
Right.
for the
Well, if
Whatever
you
defense,
surf
you
left leaning social media,
He's like, I'm just trying to save the taxpayers' money. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have to go out and buy a. Like, it's like when like if somebody gives you a car, like you're not gonna go out and buy a car if somebody's giving you a car. Like, if someone's giving you a car, okay, it might not be what you want, but at the moment, hey, if you're gonna give it to me, hey, I'll take it, whatever. Shit,
Right.
it's the same thing, like they're not. They're just saying, hey, thank you for everything that you have done for us. There's no other way that we can repay you, but we can give you this.
yeah, this was kissing
I mean,
the ring.
I
I know how much you love that term when it comes to kissing the ring, but it's clear there's a
Right.
clear difference when you look at how they treated Biden when he showed up
Yeah.
to how they treated Trump. And
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And I'm
it's understandable.
telling you-
I understand.
the emperor has
Right.
arrived,
Did you
and
see?
they're paying homage to their liege.
Yeah.
And in turn, we're going to protect the Arabian Peninsula,
Right.
which Saudi Arabia has been doing phenomenal when it comes to, stifling other conflicts in the region. And although this isn't making Israel very happy.
No.
Did you see while he was there? Like every single military officer, like a different military officer from each area kept coming up, walking up. They'd salute him twice, shake his hand. Like,
That was royalty.
Yeah,
That was all of the court. Like when you hear like medieval type, the king in his court, that's what that is. That's all the princes and the what medieval times would call lords and stuff like that. But yeah, that's them paying homage, saying, thank you. And you mentioned the comment, Leo, the other day about purple.
Oh yeah, I was watching it and like I was trying to figure out what the purple, because like all their like
means royalty.
Their rugs and stuff like that, they were all purple and they had some kind of like purple,
it's
attire.
What I learned
today,
like it means royalty. And
I was like, oh, I wonder what that means. Even Trump had a purple.
That's what it was, and it was a gift. It was a gift from the king of Saudi Arabia,
and he doesn't wear purple ties.
No, it was a gift.
He's not one to wear a purple tie to say that he's royalty.
Yeah, well, it was a gift from the king.
So hey, there you
and
go.
it was, and that's, I'm telling you, when you see Trump show up, you see other nations bow.
Right.
They take a knee to the superior,
and
that's how it should be.
Right. And my thing is, I don't see it as. This is how I look at it. I don't look at it as, oh, Trump has arrived. I look at it more as America has arrived to where we have arrived.
Yeah.
I take Trump out of the picture because I don't like the dude. I don't like the man.
You can't.
Back to the leading,
because you can't walk into Saudi Arabia and make people bow to you.
You're saying we're back to the leading power,
right? I'm just saying, like, the leading power, America, like as one, like we chose this guy to go and represent us there
because we needed somebody that commands the authority,
right?
Yeah.
So this is America, we needed somebody that
they knew Biden wasn't calling the shots,
right? We needed somebody that had, like was a little scared in their, they see him arrive, they're like, oh, this guy has arrived, like. Anyways, as I look at,
they know they're gonna benefit out of it.
I look at it as America has arrived and they're here to make a deal, and if we don't make a deal with these people, that's gonna be it.
They're gonna benefit from it, like Mike's saying, and they know if they don't play ball, Trump's a man of his word. If he says he's gonna do something, if you don't, pretty much everything Trump says he's gonna do, he does.
Right.
It's one of the things I do respect about him. Most presidents, they tell you they're gonna do something. They do very little of what they say they're going to do.
Well, this is what he started 6 years ago, and the greatest show on earth. If you look that up on Rumble, watch that. John,
I heard of it. I want to watch that.
Would definitely recommend you watch.
Yeah, and I guess it was out before he got reelected.
Excuse me?
Well, before he was reelected, yeah.
Right.
And it's just like what you're seeing now. He's going back here. He's going back to finish the deal he started then. And that whole time, we know why he didn't get the reelection. It had to be taken from him, so we would know what we know now. If not, if Trump was never elected, we wouldn't. Where do you think we would be today? There probably would have already been, global war.
Mike, there's some people that believe, and so I go back and forth on it. Like some people will tell you, Trump losing the last election, okay, they cheated and took the election, but they'll say it was part of the plan. They let him do it, so that they could set it up for this next term, like you're saying, so they could see how crooked they really were.
I don't know,
and expose
so
some of it. But just some people believe that. I mean, I don't know if I go that far either, but
I think if
it makes sense in a way.
I think if he could have fixed it the first time, he would have.
But I don't think he knew enough at that time to do it.
And he'll tell you right now he didn't know.
And some people think it was a master plan that he allowed it so that he could learn, so he could get ready for the next 4 years.
And some people think he's making a mistake with some of the people he's putting around him right now that are either tied to Israel or deep state type actors. It's his base doesn't want to see a repeat of the bad personnel decisions that handicap him and his legacy, because his legacy is our legacy.
Right.
Like Leo says, when he shows up, America is showing up.
Right.
Yeah, that's
that's how America should be treated when they show up. And whether it's Biden or Trump,
whoever, I don't care who it was.
But the world
who cares who does it?
Biden didn't have anything.
He was soft.
Pushing him. He wasn't the real president.
No, not just that. He was just easy to talk to. Easy to talk to, easy to corner in. Listen, easy, whatever you needed.
He shit himself give it to you, Buckingham Palace. It's just, sometimes there's documentation of even the Queen talking to her secretary at the time about Biden shitting himself
What happened with
in
growing up
Buckingham Palace.
And
So
there's
it's
no
like,
doubt. I mean,
they-
he had Alzheimer's. We all know he had Alzheimer's, maybe, to a certain extent. I mean, remember the thing where they're trying to get him to turn on the sidewalk? He just keeps walking.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Trump shows up. He shakes the guy's hand, puts his hand on his shoulder. The king. Nobody touches the king. It's like, and he did this last time around where he bumped into him when he was sitting down and then shook his hand later. They have a mutual respect. So
Right.
I've got some video. Let's show. This is Saudi Arabia.
Okay, that's them playing the
Yes, our national anthem.
national anthem. Like for them to be able to memorize that and be able to rehearse that and play that, like, come on, man.
They're ready.
They
They know who their empire they want to be in.
know they want to be with America.
That's the empire.
That's just they know they want to be with America, and unfortunately, this is the guy that we selected, okay? Because that's all we had at the time.
And but China has been getting so much of the money. All these other countries, everything comes through China in the trade market. These other countries have been suffering, and they know they stand to benefit financially for their country.
Not just that, but like if I know I have a weak country, or just
What better ally could you have?
or if I know if at some point I know I'm gonna need you to help me out, yeah, I'm gonna bow down to you. Yeah, I'm gonna help, because you know what? I don't want to lose. I want to be able to win. Wherever I go, I want to be able to win, no matter how small my country is. I know that person back there is gonna have my back.
Yeah, well, just
At the
having
end of the day, it is what it is. It's about winning.
just having America as an ally, just about nobody's going to jump you. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be waiting for you behind the school after school, behind the bushes and jump you, because they know America is right there ready to pounce on you if you beat up on your little brother. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I don't know. It's just
I definitely would want to be on America's side. That was Saudi Arabia. There's more though. I mean,
Gracias, Saudi Arabia.
Let's
it's
see.
just, I don't know, man. Like, it's just. It's all that matters.
I wonder if they
This-
checked
this
Donald
was
Trump's
him.
passport.
yeah. See,
هذه الشراكة
I wonder if they
الاستراتيجية
checked
Let me
everybody
replay
went there.
this.
مع الرئيس الأمريكي
he's like, yeah, we're buddies, but I'm not gonna drink.
Oh, yeah. They
I'm
gave him
not
a
gonna
drink, and he's
drink.
like, nope. Marco Rubio drank it. Thirsty bitch.
He's like, nah.
I can't blame him. I mean, you
Nope.
better give me a bottle of water that ain't been opened, and
Nope.
even then, I don't know.
He's like, I'm not going to drink this.
الاستراتيجية
And here's Cutter.
Bring that on the plane with them, don't they?
I don't know, man. Look at that. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how they treat him. They didn't do that for Biden. When Biden went to Saudi Arabia, the local mayor showed up and gave him a fist bump when he got off the plane.
Well, I mean,
And then he had to, drive an hour to meet the king. That's pretty messed up. But there's other stuff going on in the world. Where are we? We're 15 minutes in. If you notice, we don't have any major ads to play for you, but I do want to share the Warrior Weekend that's coming up in September with you. September 5th, 6th, and 7th, I believe. There's a concert on the Friday night, then the gala on the Saturday. There's there's different packages. It's a great fundraiser for a great organization. And they've got a big weekend coming up. I'd like to share that with you. And we'll be there doing a podcast with Two Guys in One Coop on that Friday, I believe, possibly that Saturday. Either way, I'll be there for the concert, and that's what I'm looking forward to. But
yeah, Mike's going to the concert.
check out Warrior Weekend. How come it's not switching? Okay, StreamYard does not want to cooperate today. Hang on 1 second there.
The Warrior Shield Foundation proudly presents Warrior Weekend, a 3-day event from September 5th through September 7th at the Rosen Center in beautiful Orlando, Florida, which honors and supports the Corporal Chad Eric Oleg Schlager Foundation for PTSD, raising awareness and resources for its vital mission to help our most valuable heroes, our veterans. This powerful weekend will feature live performances by country music recording artist Ryan Weaver.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone.
American Idol runner-up Bo Bice.
Tired of looking down roads, wondering what I gotta do, who I'm supposed to be. I don't wanna be anything other than free.
Christian contemporary and country artist Natasha Owens.
God and country strong, give me a cowboy who knows left from right from wrong.
Florida native and national recording artist Sean Holcomb.
You just watch your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. There's a compass and a map if you need.
In addition to all of the musical artists performing at the event, meet John Tig Tigan and Dave Boone Benton. Two true American heroes who stood their ground and defeated armed terrorists on September 11th, 2012 in Benghazi, Libya. Not only can you meet Tig and Boone, but you can spend the day at the range, shooting and learning from the best of the best. Another hero that you will not want to miss is Colonel Gregory Gadsden, an American actor and motivational speaker, and a retired colonel and former commander in the United States Army. Colonel Gadsden is also a bilateral, above-the-knee amputee who served in the Army for 25 years of active duty as a field artillery officer. Nowhere else will you be able to meet this all-star lineup while supporting our veterans and first responders. This is an event of a lifetime, and one you do not want to miss. Get your tickets now, online, at warriorshield.org, and support those who fought and sacrificed so much for all of us.
Man, y'all aren't going to that concert?
I don't know
But
yet.
it's gonna be pretty cool. And
Vince doesn't want to know if he wants to room with me or not. He doesn't know, like, get a little too
Get your own
wild.
room.
You snore a little.
get
too
your own
loud.
room. Bring your
No, I'm
wife.
just kidding.
I get buck wild, man.
Bring your wife.
You seen my
You
TikTok
got a
video?
wife? What do you want a room with Vince for?
You seen my TikToks?
No,
You know?
I didn't.
Oh man, I get buck wild, boy.
No,
Fuck
but
wild.
what's your TikTok handle, Leo?
My TikTok handler is Beards with Leo.
Beards with Leo.
Yes.
And that's what's your ex too, because we got to get you guys
My
ex.
ex.
Not your ex
I don't have an ex.
Yes, you do.
I'm watching you right now, Leo. You're fertilizing your yard.
Yeah, you guys
Easy.
got.
Don't want to spoil anything, but
I can't remember what my ex
I know,
thing is.
and I got you guys in my
ooh,
bio.
Anna Barron right behind you though.
Hey,
I can
Leo bearded 20
there you go. That's me.
and Vince to the point, no spaces. Number 2, in there. Make sure you follow Leo bearded 20
Yeah.
and Vince to the point
You okay, Vince?
on X. They're not verified or anything.
I'm watching
yet, but
Hannah.
we're gonna build their X presence up and get
Yes,
more
for
people
sure.
switching over to X and Rumble and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I'm trying to get on there more. I was on there the other day and accepting some friend requests, and
I'm on a mission
trying
on
to comment
X.
on there.
For our X that you see down here, it's tothepoint.com. Make sure if you don't follow us there, follow us. If I don't follow you, or if I follow you and then I don't, shoot me a message. I'm on a mission to build up our count there, and
It's about the first time I think I've ever heard you call it X.
I know it's
You
always
always call it Twitter.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, but give us a like and a follow. Also, check us out at anyriverconnections.com where we're doing big things. We've got a new I got some people I'm working with, great talent. They know some great people.
Thanks,
Sheila
Mike.
Matthews from Able Child, she is going to be doing a show with us, and she's on Bannon regularly. She's friends with all these people. She's in legislation chambers sessions trying to push bills against, drugging our kids with psychotropic drugs and stuff like that. That's creating these mass shootings and screwing up our kids. But check out Indian River Connections and stay tuned for that. It won't be Indian River Connections, but their show is going to be called Shattering the Narrative. So keep an eye out for those social medias and those channels coming out soon. I'll definitely be pushing those for them. So really look forward to that. That's Sheila Matthews with Able Child, and the host is CJ from the Spark Free Press. They're affiliated with the Flame, I think, somehow, some way. CJ, if you're watching, give a thumbs up and drop a comment. But we look forward to getting some content out for them, and yeah, check out the other shows. The Indian River Connections does the Board Report, connecting people. Binford Chronicles. We do all that stuff. And we're going to try to get Leo.
Trying to get me going there and do some cooking channels.
Buy Mike a coffee because he deserves a real studio with all this.
We need more than a coffee.
All these different media
Send us a
platforms.
50, would you? Send us a 50 if you're watching. I know that's a lot to ask, but we do sponsorships too. So if you have a business and you want to reach the market, we do.
Or if you have a product
that
you guys want us to use it, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. Especially if you got beard products.
That's what you should do on Twitter, Leo. Trying different beard products and doing like a little review.
I was gonna do a little video here soon. I'll put it out there so you guys can look at it. I already did the video of how I maintain my beard.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So.
Yeah, cool. Keep an eye out for that. There he is. What's it say? Hey Vatos, I'm driving. Have a great show. Yeah, I was wondering. I hope you can make it back, but I hope our schedule change didn't screw up our number one commenter, Truthful Troll.
Truthful Troll.
He's missing the truth.
A big shout out to Truthful Troll.
He's a big supporter of the network, and it's not all mushy. He's sometimes critical of the narrative, So and sometimes we play a part in that too. So we're glad you're here. We had some other stuff we want to talk about. Trump talking about, this is big. If you have any kind of medical issues going on, or if it hits family, you know how important this can be, where drug prices are sometimes ridiculously expensive. Insulin.
Such a common thing that people need, and it's ridiculously priced.
But it's way, way cheaper, sometimes up to 80% cheaper in some third world countries. And they're not getting a discount. They're just not charging them as much as they are Americans, and the stuff isn't even made here. So there should be a big push. Everybody's worried about these microchips made in Taiwan. Well, how about drugs, man? Our drugs are made in freaking China too,
right?
Or these giant companies out of Sweden, which are pretty much, probably owned and ran by the Communist Party of China, anyways. But so Trump made another executive order, and there's a fight on Capitol Hill. This is the only one I heard of so far that they're really fighting over. What to make law is Trump on Big Pharma. Here he is.
But starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what for the same drug that what we pay many, many times more for. And we'll no longer tolerate profiteering and price gouging from Big Pharma. But again, it was really the countries that forced Big Pharma to do things that, frankly, I'm not sure they really felt comfortable doing. But they've gotten away with it, these countries. European Union has been brutal. brutal. And the drug companies actually told me stories. It was just brutal how they forced them. And European Union suing all our companies, Apple, Google, Meta. They're suing all of our companies. They end up, they have judges that are European Union-centric, and they get rewarded 15 billion, 17 billion, 20 billion, and they use that to run their operation. Not going to happen any longer, that I can tell you.
Saying for a while.
Yeah. So if
I-
Capitol Hill doesn't do
Yeah.
their thing, it all goes away.
I've been saying for a while, one of the biggest things I hope Trump would tackle is the medical field, just the highway robbery that they're ripping people off, people that need to get help that can't get the help that they need because it's just ridiculous prices for everything.
Right.
You know, my father had a stroke years ago, and watching him not be able to get the treatment he needed because, I mean, he worked a full-time job his whole life, and then, you know, he's towards the end of his working career, and he got laid off, and he's working 2 part-time jobs to pay the bills until he can retire. And, you know, along with that, no benefits. So he wasn't able to get the help, even though he paid for benefits his whole life. You know, they got to do something to make it where these people
for
can,
sure.
you know, you get to your later years and you have a stroke or you have a mild heart attack, and let's say you survive, you know, you should be able to make a full recovery, have every opportunity to make a full recovery.
Well, again, this is America. This is where you should be able to come to get the best medical treatments and be more available. Not that it shouldn't be available anywhere else, but
Right.
of all places of the modern world, it should be cutting edge here and easily available
Right.
and not marked up 80% because it's a freaking racket is what it is. Not to mention that, you know, the whole idea of the pumping your bodies full of pharmaceuticals is not good for you.
Right.
But it's a racket. You know, you're led to believe you need this stuff, and then you need stuff because you got to stay on it, and you need stuff to counteract side effects and crap like that.
And then another thing, I was talking to one of our coworkers today about how a doctor, you can walk in there and you tell them what your problems are, and the doctor already has a certain prescription he's going to give you, even if there's another one better, because Leo, let's say, owns this company that sells these pills. He comes in and he tells the doctor, hey, every time you push this prescription on somebody, I'm going to give you $50.
Yep.
So, do the math. You know, you get 1,000 people, you get that prescription to, do the math. That's $50,000. You know, they're getting paid money to give a prescription to somebody, even though something else might be better for them.
Vendors. You know?
Vendors, yeah, sales.
Those, if you think about it, those are the real American drug dealers.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're going door to door, but they're going to doctor office to doctor office,
they go to the
pushing
doctor,
their drugs.
and the doctor, he's the supply, he's the dealer, he's the one who deals it out. So every patient that comes in, he's dealing it out. And who's running it? The America, the government. You know, they're the pharmaceuticals are the ones that are running it.
The doctors,
because, you know, we made this pill, hey, and then if you look at the back,
but it's not the government doing it. It's
no,
pharmaceuticals.
it's the
Right.
pharmaceuticals. Yeah, it's the pharmaceuticals.
But it's the government letting it
But it's
happen
they need to
it's
put
the
a stop
government,
to it. And
you know.
that's what I've been, saying.
because
that,
people like Elizabeth Warren, who is pretty much sponsored by Big Pharma, and same
Right.
with people like
Well,
Bernie Sanders.
and they're in the pockets of politicians too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, multi-billion-dollar industry.
Right.
You know, they're paying politicians to turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
'cause they get a cut too. Think about it, they get a cut too. So
Well, they're
Hey,
getting.
I'm gonna get a cut too. I'm gonna turn my left cheek too and not say anything. You know, just
The
stay
government is like the mafia.
So the whole
If I'm going to let you do this, that's fine. But where's my cut?
the
But
whole
yeah.
idea is get costs down for Americans, make the stuff
Right.
here so it's secured, it's not vulnerable to
Chemical type
Chinese, yeah.
warfare.
you know. I mean, between that, I don't know what that does for our budget and our deficit, whatnot. But I mean, between that Trump also did the $1.2 trillion deal with Qatar with the Boeing jets, and then the $200 billion. That was $200 billion for the jets, but a $1.2 trillion deal with Qatar, $1.4 trillion with UAE. Then he's going after Big Pharma. He's pretty much averting a nuclear war over there between India and Pakistan right now. I mean, is that anything you've kept up on?
I've heard some about it.
These people are
But-
crazy anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, have you seen the dance offs? I don't have the video. I couldn't find it. I don't know if it was removed from social media or what, but it's really at the border. It's where the opposing sides do some stupid ritual thing, and they're arch enemies. They're
Right.
neighbors, but they both have nuclear weapons, and they're both stupid enough to use them. And Pakistan's military is incompetent and inept, so you can't trust their framework of generals and authority. Let alone the government. It could be overthrown any day now. But in India, I mean, it's all a mess over there when it comes to that region. I've got something here. Let's see what this is.
And they have, and they did it for a lot of reasons, but trade is a big one. We're going to do a lot of trade with Pakistan. We're going to do a lot of trade with India. We're negotiating with India right now. We're going to be soon negotiating with Pakistan. And we stopped the nuclear conflict. I think it could have been a bad nuclear war. Millions of people could have been killed. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, if it starts over there, you think about it. World War I started when the Archduke of Austria was killed. Nobody does, right? Nobody to Americans,
Right.
even 100-something years ago. It meant nothing to us, but it was everything leading up to that, and that just happened to be the wet toilet paper that just didn't make it, and that's what set the powder keg off. And could that be India? Could it be Iran? Our nuclear deal talks with Iran kind of stalled. Now Israel's really pissed off with us because of the deals we're making as far as Saudi Arabia. Trump met with the Syrian president who had a $50 million bounty on his head just a few months ago.
It's crazy.
So, and I mean, that's the problem though. Like when you are trying to calm the nerves of regions, you might not like the guy they want, but you might have to put your support behind the guy who can maintain peace,
Right.
and take negotiations. That doesn't mean they have to like you.
No.
I mean, we do business with countries we don't like. Look at how much as we buy from China. If they're so much of our enemy, why in the hell do we buy so much from China? It just doesn't make fucking sense. And then you see all the shit on social media. Oh, so-and-so says the ports are empty. The ports are shut down. Chinese ports are shut down. I don't give a shit. Like, if you didn't get your cheap Chinese shit already, I'm sorry. It'll balance out sooner or later. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass when I need a car part or something. But,
Right.
it could anyways. We
Yeah,
saw that
everything,
shortage
I mean,
with stuff a few years ago.
Well, speaking of China, I mean, I guess they came to an agreement. I heard something about 25% each way.
I don't know, but
I haven't
a
heard a
deal.
lot of the details, but I know they've struck a deal that both sides were happy with, obviously, or else they wouldn't have made the deal.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. People are like, oh, tariffs this, and he needs congressional approval. No, he doesn't. That's his way of renegotiating trade deals that he didn't sign.
Right.
Because he wouldn't have signed those original deals. So, and what's done is done. So the only way to do it is get them back.
Yeah.
I don't know why Leo's froze up on one. There he is.
That's all right.
All right. Funny, huh? Every StreamYard's been acting weird, so hopefully you guys can hear us fine at home. Yeah, so Big Pharma, hopefully that helps a lot for the economy because that'll help people pay down
Yeah,
debt.
for sure.
I mean, not that everybody wants
I
to
mean,
pay
have
down
you guys
debt.
have you guys looked at the prices of gas here lately? Nobody's talked about the prices of gas. here lately.
279 where we're at.
279. Come on now, nobody's talking about that. Oh, but
No.
when they were over close to $3 or over $3, everybody was on top of gas.
Eggs have been going back down too, but nobody's talking about that.
They only talk about what's convenient for them and then in their mouth. That's it. Sorry.
Right then and there, or what they see, what invokes their emotions.
Right.
We talked about
You
that.
know,
the
talk about
emotions.
like you don't go back and talk about it and be like, oh, this is what I talked about. Let me go back and check my facts, or let me go back to see what's going on, or report back to see, freshen it up to see what's going on. You
Right.
know, no, you just talked about it there at the moment and forget about it. No, go back and see what you said. You know, this is why we do this. So later on, they can be like, oh, Leo, you said this. And I'm going to go look back at it and be like, yeah, I did say it. You're right. I did say it. So
Well,
what?
we're commentators.
You
We're
know,
not
yeah.
like we're not asking you to vote.
No.
Just watch and comment.
Yeah, we
Hit the
just,
like, thumbs up. We're
sure,
approaching 600 viewers right now, so
But, you
hopefully
know,
we
I
get
like that.
some of them to hit the thumbs up.
yeah, for sure, man.
We appreciate you
Follow
guys.
Leo.
Yeah, yeah. Follow us on whatever platform you're watching
Yeah,
us
for
on.
sure,
We're
you
definitely
know.
live on the Patriot Prayer Network. And
But it's,
to the point.
But yeah, you know, it's just everybody sees things different ways. You know, it's just we'll never be able to be one. There'll never be one. Come back on it in 2-3 days or in a week or whatever. I don't know. It's just hard, you know, and there's just so much hate towards one person because this person did this or this person did that. Okay, move on. Don't get stuck in the same place.
like
Don't sink. You will sink if you get stuck in the same place.
Yeah, like you're
You'll
saying
sink.
though, it's never going to change. There's
No,
always
it's
going to
just-
be, I mean, that's just the human nature. You
Yeah,
know,
it
there's
is,
always
but-
going to be disagreement,
It is.
but it's just sad where it's gotten to where, you know, it used to be you disagree, all right, whatever, and
But you know
everybody kind of lived with it.
what? Right.
Now it's like they got to take it to the extreme.
Right. But see, we've talked about this before, Vince.
Oh yeah,
Before Obama was elected, it didn't matter if you were red or if you were blue. People would be like, "Oh, okay, this person got elected. It is what it is." You know, there
it
wasn't
didn't feel like there was a lingering
no
after effect
No, like,
until then, and then especially even more so
Right.
when
Not outside the political hemisphere.
yeah.
and then once Obama came and was running, is when hate came out. I feel that hate came out, racism came out, all that stuff came out, all that stuff came back to the light. It's like they brought all that to them to that table,
Yeah.
and they have not finished their plate.
And when it really got
And
worse,
they can't finish their plate. They're still eating
When it
at
really
the same fucking plate.
took
from
off, though, Leo.
1900s. It's like, move on, man. My ancestor, this,
Someone
Move
told me
on.
today
when it really took off though was when
fired up.
Biden was running against Trump. That's when they started tearing statues, having Antifa start things that weren't really going on. That's when they started, I think, really trying to make the divide, make us more racist. They're trying to divide us during that time. And that's when, you're right, it started when Obama took office, but I think that's when it really took it to another
the
level.
Summer of love and all that was in that season that Trump was running the first time, and where they occupied Wall Street. It was actually a hijacked movement, and where that was the birth of where you saw them start hijacking stuff. Obama was a CIA plant to create the divide even larger.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
for
even sure
sure.
if plant.
He
I
was,
would say.
because right
I don't
after
think
him,
he
he
was an
started-
agent though.
He was raised.
He was used as an asset.
He was raised to be what he was.
I don't know. I think he
They
was in the right place at the right
him
time.
all the way up to that spot.
I don't think they have that much control foregoing. I think they utilize the people they know are going to make these bad decisions and like put them in there to do so. Like you see Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, like they gave them that power knowing these kinds of decisions. I think they're that maniacal and evil on their own.
Yeah.
You know, without a puppet master. But then again, they, in one way or another, they're manipulated by a bigger entity like a George Soros or an Illuminati or New World Order or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, John, I sent you a link. If you want to jump on, you're more than welcome. We got about 20 minutes left.
But yeah,
It's
it's
like
just
you
cra-
can
it's
you,
just
you can
crazy.
go back to before Obama was president and watch speeches that he gave
Right.
where he looks like a communist dictator. The words coming out of his mouth, the way he's speaking, he's saying that American people are too stupid to handle their own money. I heard the words out of his mouth that they need the government to decide where all their money goes for them. They're too stupid to handle their own affairs.
Yeah,
That's dictatorship.
That's how the Democrats feel. Like,
Well,
they should handle more of your money. Like, if they had their way, you wouldn't get a refund, an income tax refund.
If they had their way, you wouldn't even have anything to take home with you except for enough to buy food.
Right. And here we're hoping we get a dividend check from Doge, or we're hoping that these tariffs or the external revenue service overrides the internal revenue service. Like, I'm
Right.
all for people making less than 150,000 a year pay no income tax, man. That's how it should be. And states need to act also, because this is ridiculous. You don't need so much of a controlling infrastructure, like actual hardware infrastructure, yes, but the bureaucracy in leadership and administration in this system is just going to be what kills us. And that's what kills the empire.
Yeah.
I talk about the emperor getting, going and getting these planes and stuff like that, but when you bloat too much, that's when the empire falls. And that's what we saw with the Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman,
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's the greed.
They had too much. What the fuck was that? They had too much to control, and couldn't handle all of it. Too much diversity too.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I mean, like a friend of mine, one of our business partners mentioned to me earlier, Joanne, that she really feels like we have an issue with the amount of Muslims moving into certain areas. And I know where she was going as far as manipulating districting and stuff like that, and census stuff like that. And it is. And I don't think it's just a Muslim. I think what's going to be our collapse, or what our implosion will be the race card, whether it's not necessarily Muslim, but Middle Eastern or black. And right now, you see the black and white thing. It's just inflaming more and more and more. And no matter what, you're a racist.
Right.
You can't clean up your country because you're a racist, or you can't let people do things the right way because you're a racist,
or you can't let the best person for the job have the job because you're a racist.
Right. I want
the best person for the job is white or black. Give it to whoever the best qualified person is.
If you get the chance, go to, I think it's Tucker News Network. I forget the website, but James O'Keefe, his latest documentary's on there. It's Line in the Sand, and it's worth it. It's very good. Pay the money, watch the movie. And it shows the journey from South America. This dude's crazy. And he took the train all the way up to the border, and then they got into the children, and then over here on this side, they were really pushing buttons, looking for these missing kids and stuff like that. It is crazy. But when it comes to immigration, and you want to let these people have a home, but at the same time, you have to make sure everybody is on the up and up, because you can't just load cities full of people who are going to alter your voter base. Like, so when they did the census a few years ago, they counted everybody. Didn't matter if you were a citizen or not. And what that does is that gives your district or your state rezoning based on their population. So they'll be like, oh, well, this population over here grew. We need to divide it up and add another district, which means they get another congressman.
And that's
whether you're at the state level or the federal level.
That's all part of the master plan that the Democrats are trying to do behind the scene, and hope nobody sees what's going on.
So it's like the first stage in voter replacement. So they're not going to have their right to vote yet. They might not get their right to vote, but they're going to get more. And this, obviously, these populations of immigrants, illegal immigrants, are going to be blue state sanctuary states. So we're going to end up with more Democrats in positions to make laws, and it's not going to pan out for America, especially when we're pushing for red wave and stuff like that.
John's in.
Yeah, I see him down there. Yeah, and so it's, before I bring John on, I want to play this video, and we'll come back with John from TGI Now. I have it labeled the right way, and it's not meaning right as in conservative or Republican, but this is the right way you should come in seeking asylum. Now, can you notice anything about this group? You notice anything particular about? I'll be like one of those provocative Twitter posts or X posts.
They look like model families.
No, they got an American flag in their hand.
Well, yeah, I mean, they all.
So 1, 2, you got two main key items,
And they're all white.
and they all came off a plane. They all applied for asylum. They got visas. They're all white.
Well, I don't know if they came off of a plane.
Well, they did. That part of the video wasn't on there, but they're all white. They're South African. Right now, South Africa is facing a genocide, and white farmers are losing their land. Hey, John, we got John from TGI Now with us here.
Hey, John.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yep.
How's it going, John?
What's up, boys? Looking good.
That's John.
Let's see if I can adjust our picture here.
Man, that studio is looking
Yeah.
sharp, John.
Right? Getting to keep it
Got
going.
all that cool shit on the wall.
If you guys don't know John Karapi from TGI Now and Indian River Connections, make sure you follow them on X, Rumble, and all the platforms, whatever you're on. There's so many of them, I don't even know what to say anymore.
Right? I mean, it's
Pretty much
or-
every major platform. Just go
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah.
I think we're on Podbean now. I mean, I don't even know half the stuff we're on
I
anymore.
don't know either.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So we were just talking about the immigrants coming from South Africa. Yes, they're all white. Yes, they look like they're happy to be here.
Yeah.
They're not waving a South African flag or a Dutch flag.
No.
And it's actual families. Like I don't know, maybe I'm racist, but nothing there gives me the suspicion that any of those children are being smuggled in. Could be.
Well, that's what happens is when you see that this contrast. So you see families, you don't see young military age men coming across. You don't see kids coming across with just their mom. You don't see that part because they're not being trafficked. This is being done the right way. There is a right way and a wrong way to do it. And for those who don't know, on our podcast, Eddie, and Rondell are partners on my podcast, like you guys are. And Eddie disagrees with me a lot about the immigration, and he feels sorry for these people, and they came over illegally and all that. But it's like, no, you look at these guys; they're coming across legally. They got American flags in their hands. They're like, hey, we want to be American citizens. We want to do it the right way. We're happy to be here. Where the other process is, come on in, we'll give you free stuff, we'll give you all these things, and it doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah. No, but of course the narrative on social media is they're white.
Exactly.
So no matter what you do, it's going to be a white and a black or a white and a brown issue. Yep. And at what point does that stop?
Yeah.
Or does it explode?
Well, I mean, it won't stop.
It won't stop until we say it stops. So like what we're doing right here, talking about it and bringing it to the light to show the obvious that's a contrast that shouldn't be looked at with the color of the skin. It's about the way they're doing it and doing it the right way and coming in the way you should. And that's all. And that just points out the obvious. But like you said, that the internet, the social media, the news is going to spin the narrative like, oh, they're the white. Look at the white. They're letting the white people in, no problem. But what about the brown people? Just like what we hear in our own little town about ICE and the brown people, and they're targeting brown people and all those things. It's the same thing, unfortunately.
America's always been willing to welcome people here. You just got to do it the way they say you got to do it. That's all.
Exactly. That's all. It's very simple. But again, like you guys talked about earlier in the podcast, was the whole process of what Obama did and the whole making the separation more and more separate, where everybody gets more, against each other. And, the black president. I mean, I fell for the hope and change, and I voted for Obama. And,
same here, it's just crazy because it's like, it's just crazy because it's just like they fool you. They literally fool you. They literally.
I admit it.
You're fooled. You were fooled, and then it's like, wait a minute. You said you were going to do this and this and this. And where are you at? Where are you standing at now? Like, what happened? You caved. Like you literally took your pocket out, and you're having me hold your pocket now. You're telling me to do what you want.
Well, when they get to where they got
like
voted
now.
to go, their handlers got a hold of it.
Right. You know,
and they told them this is when the checks will hit the bank, and this is what you're going to do, and
right?
this
And
is how we're
remember,
going to hide it. This is what
it
you
was
say if you're asked.
it was happening all that time before when they said that the border was secure and Obama was securing the border, blah blah blah. They were doing the same thing. Remember Trump brought up the whole kids in cages thing, and Obama and the kids, and they tried to debunk it and say it wasn't true, and then and I at that time I was like, well, Obama's not putting kids in cages. Why would he do that for? Like, you start to fall for the narrative. You get fooled, but then once you do the research and you listen to podcasts like we're doing, you start to wake up to it. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I was fooled too, but now I can see it. So now I see the divide. I see that they're doing it on purpose. I see they're trying to make it worse instead of better. And we have to bring it together.
Yeah, too many facts start to line up, and you start to say, oh, you can't ignore it anymore. The pieces start to fall together in the puzzle. You start to see the picture.
Right. It's like these people telling me that I'm racist when I'm not. It's like, what's going on here? Like, wait a minute. Like, how are you gonna force this down my throat? Like, no. You guys have taught me my entire life that if I don't like something, I can say no. And now all of a sudden I'm saying no, and you don't like it. Like, whoa, what happened now? Like, what's going on?
I remember one of the first things that really outraged me that was going on, and I don't watch sports anymore because of it. I haven't for years. When they started kneeling for the national anthem in NFL, it just struck me. It struck me the wrong way. I didn't like it. I didn't tune into football to see that shit, and I haven't watched it since. It's been years since I've watched any sports because I was just like, I'm not going to let them force that shit down my throat.
And that's the triggers that you go through. You go through those triggers where you're like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. Just like with myself with the sports was the same way with me with when COVID came and they were playing the games in front of nobody. And I was like, wow, like, why could they're okay with playing in front of nobody? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So nobody's buying tickets. So it just goes to show me that they don't need us. That's what it taught me, was like, they don't need anybody in the stands in order for them to keep playing and keep getting paid. And that's what I started to get frustrated. I was like, oh, then you put the pieces, the puzzle into place, and you go, you know what? I'm not supporting this no more because they're putting cardboard people in the stands. They can play and get paid, and I have to sit home.
They were filtering in noise.
Yes.
You remember they were filtering in crowd noise.
Yeah,
They had fucking giant speakers all around the stadium, filtering in the noise. And
We fell for it. We fell for it.
now going back to the knee thing, I don't care. Take a knee at the right time, but don't do it during the national anthem. We have people that fought for this country, died for this country.
Blame the media.
Yeah.
The media put the camera on them.
Right.
And they pumped,
And
they
continue
put
to
gas
do it.
on the fire.
Yep.
Should have ignored them.
They
like
knew
Just
they
like
were going to do it, so they had the cameraman ready to go.
Well, the media was paid to do it. It was all
Remember,
part of the
Tebow would
narrative.
take the knee, and they would, he can't do that. He can't take a knee. He's praying. He can't
Right.
do that. Like,
Right.
and they wouldn't give him camera time. Then he kind of got blackballed at that point. A lot of teams wouldn't bring him on his team anymore. They wouldn't want him to play quarterback. They want to make him be a tight end because they were ganging him around because he was kneeling and they didn't like it.
And the year before, he took his team, a subpar team, to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, did he play all-star level? No, but he won games for him.
Yeah, and now he's on
And he
Sean
was
Ryan's
black.
podcast exposing child trafficking and pedophilia and everything like that. He was just on Sean Ryan's podcast talking about it. If you guys haven't catched it yet,
I'll watch that. Yeah.
Tebow was always bringing that stuff to light. He was always doing that, But once they see that, that's no good. It's not godly. If it's godly, they don't want it to be a part of anything in life.
Yeah.
That's all.
John, we got a few minutes left. What's going on with TGI now?
We got a couple things coming up. Next week we're going to have George Corella from the Trump 45, the 45 bikers group. He's going to be on our show next Tuesday. So look forward to having him on. I know he was on Binford Chronicles before, and you guys interviewed him as well. And he's been in the bureau at the J6 fundraisers that we've had here. So we're going to have him coming up next Tuesday, and then I think we're going to have a couple more guests lined up, and it'll be good for us to be able to do this with you guys too on Patriot Prayer Network. Appreciate you letting me come on, and maybe we can do a combination podcast one night. All of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know George does a lot to get conservatives elected and supports a lot of the J6ers, which it's a rough it's rough out there because everybody's trying to get money from you, and you don't know who to trust and whatnot. But
you got to be careful. I mean, that's like I said, they're not heroes, but we can appreciate what they did and what they stood up for. But everybody makes their own free will choice to make that decision to do the.
At least not every one of them. Not every one of them is a good guy. So yeah,
there's some
Indian River connections. We got some print media going on. If somebody, a business owner in Arizona that sells coffee, wants to hit a market, and how can we help them do that?
Yeah, just have them reach out to us and hit the high dollar markets here in Vero Beach. So if you got a product that you want to get sold online, or you have a service you want to offer, reach out to us and check out.
Especially if it's a premium product, like you said, Vero Beach. There's a lot of people with money here. You got like a high quality product, it'll sell.
We do the campaigns that hit at least 10,000. So, and we hope to do multiples of that, plus sponsorships of podcasts that we produce locally. So
yeah, I might have a coffee company that we might be able to get as a sponsor here. It's local too, so keep a look out with that. I got a conference call with the CEO tomorrow at 11:30. So I'm hoping to make. It's a conservative coffee company too, so and I think they support like Benny Johnson or some other people too. So I think it might be good for our Indian River connections and our podcasts.
Awesome. And I kind of teased ahead of time to CJ in the comment section. Him and Sheila will be putting out a podcast shattering the narrative that we'll be helping produce. So they should be getting some great guests on, and when it comes to politics and legislators and journalists and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that also. So
that'll be cool. Yeah, she gets on Bannon and all that, so that'll be good. Damn.
Yeah, she's great. And I'm gonna try to get her on Two Guys in One Coop also. So hopefully we see more of her on PPN also. So
that'll be
CJ
great.
with what he does at the Spark Free Press. If you're looking for advertising in our area, both of us do advertising. So reach out. Anyways, you guys got anything else before I wrap up the show?
No, just don't forget to give us that like and that follow. That's all. That's all we ask for.
And check out TGI Now.
Especially if you share it, share it, because that's how we go viral.
I'm happy to be on Wednesdays because now we can enjoy your show on Tuesdays, and we can always patch you in on Wednesdays with us. So it's kind of cool that we're not on at the same time. We're not competing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was tough a little bit there for a while, but we had to do it for now. But now we're growing, so we have these opportunities now.
Yeah, with not going against you, we got a lot more viewers today.
Exactly. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So make sure you check us out at IndianRiverConnections.com. Also check out the PatriotsPrayer.com, where you can find another lineup of great conservative podcasters like Nate Kane, Two Guys in One Coop, the Cowboys and Indians, which is Maurice and Steve, and then of course Eddie Smith, the co-creator of the network, doing his content almost every night. He's putting stuff out there, hitting the grind. So make sure you give us all a like and a follow on the X and Rumble and all that stuff. And otherwise, thanks for joining us tonight, John. It was it's great to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, John.
That was perfect time. Yeah.
We're on Bolt. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you guys next week, Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. See you guys. We're out.
This is the Patriots Prayer Network, where truth matters.